As you know, the Cabinet has formed 3 Cabinet committees. That is the Socio-Economic Transformation Committee, headed by my colleague Datuk Douglas Uga. The other one is Google Transformation, headed by Datuk Amar Tan Sri James Masing. And the other one, Performance and Service Delivery Transformation Committee, headed by myself. So I'm heading that. And I want to share with you the list of tasks and scope that is given to this committee headed by me. And this list include, number 1, devolution of power and empowerment. To look into that scope, and this involve state public service and development planning and implementation of policies and also projects in Sarawak. This particular scope of devolution of power and empowerment. When you talk about development planning and implementation, it includes projects undertaken by the federal government and the mode of implementation for the state of Sarawak. We have to study and look into it, and then we will try to rectify any weaknesses in the process. The other one is service delivery and scorecard. This one involves project delivery, customer service and state capability, ensure excellent delivery of infrastructure projects, meaning they must be delivered on time, improve delivery and performance of RTP project, and provide one-stop services to the public, improve ease of doing business, provide emergency services outside office hours, review the capacity and competency to deliver excellent service, and to manage performance. This is the scope of the other list under this committee. Number 3 is state public relations strategy, building a positive image and managing feedback, enhance and sustain state government's reputation through effective issue management, enhance and sustain the state government's reputation through content creation, enhance and sustain the state government's reputation through engagement and event management, enhance and sustain the state government's reputation through effective communication policy, and the last one, enhance and sustain the state government's reputation through branding of civil servants. The other list is quality for education and human capital. This one involves attainment of students. Kita pun student pun performance. Of course, it is based on the result every year, and that's where we can gauge the standard of our education. Number 5 is societal well-being. This one entails safety, security, solidarity, and self-reliance, public confidence on as a safety and security, that is fear of crime. Confidence kita lah there. And then the solidarity, unity in diversity, which is the key to Sarawak's progress and prosperity. And finally, self-reliance among welfare recipients. This one is in order to transform the individual. They don't rely on welfare assistance. If they are well-bred, they are able to produce productivity high, why not? You train them and select certain areas where they can make use of whatever strength that they have. The last one is in the list, Sarawak as a sport powerhouse. Kita sukma nombor 2 lah. But if you can sustain it, you can become champion. And we have the talent. Kalau dari sudut sports sekolah, we are really in the forefront. But then after that, once they are out of school, we do not know where they go. So this is where our committee will look into it and then groom people who have the potential to be champion in sports. And then we become the powerhouse. Of course, the government has to have a policy on this one. And these are the list of tasks given to my committee. And I have people to look after all these particular tasks. For devolution of power and empowerment, I will look after this particular area, assisted by SS, State Financial Secretary, as well as our SAG. These are the people with me. In terms of kita pun service delivery and scorecard, this one will be looked after by State Secretary. He himself will look into that. Of course, there are the rest helping him. Our state public relations strategy to be looked after by Yang Berhormat Puan Rosie Yunus and Datuk Dr. Pengwal Manggel. And then with all the experience they have in this. Quality of education and human capital, Datuk Hajah Fatimah will look after this task, assisted by Dr. Abdul Rahman Ismail, because it's really involved kita pun education, including infrastructure to back up development of education. Societal well-being is Yang Berhormat Datuk John Siki, anak Tayal, because he is he's helping me in culture and arts. And then culture is actually the core of our well-being, unity. Because we are very fortunate that in Sarawak we have a very strong culture, and then the culture is intertwined with the other cultures, so much so that we don't have any differences, and this has to be sustained and developed. And I did mention to my committee that one of the observation made by Yayasan Satu Malaysia, which they find siada di other state, is our intermarriage. Situ banyak intermarriage, so there is understanding among various cultures in this. And this one will be Datuk John Siki, assisted by Sharifah Hasidah, or known as Kappa. Sharifah Hasidah will have this. And then Sarawak as a sports powerhouse, Datuk Sri Makamanyin will head this, assisted by Lee Kim Chin. So we have all the ministers, and the working committees will be there helping them, headed by all the civil servants, the senior civil servants, and heads of department to help them. This committee will meet every 1.5 months, and then we report to the steering committee, cabinet steering committee, headed by the chief minister. CM will head the steering committee. CM will meet every 2 months, once in 2 months, and then we report to steering committee for action. And there will be a recommendation by this subcommittee, and then we have to act on that particular recommendation as agreed by the steering committee. Sarawak has we have a very formidable task in front of us, because we want to become a developed state by 2030. And to be developed state, our GDP must be roughly about 5%. Every year 5%. At the moment kita lebih kurang average is 4, between 4 and 5, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 and 4. But it must be consistent 5%. Meaning that we have to look into our process of implementing projects, identifying projects that high impact. At the same time, we want to move forward. So there are a lot of things that have to be done, and the other committee under Datuk James and Datuk Douglas Uga will identify specific subject. And then setidaknya more or less under the Malaysia plan, kita dah ada identified project. We have to deliver the project. The question now is sometimes we don't deliver the project as specified. That is our problem. Huh? Yeah, so we have to intervene. How to deliver project as planned in our plan lah. Macam for instance tourism, I'm in tourism also, so I work together with them because tourism has been identified as a new growth area, including rural transformation. But then this one, there must be infrastructure related to that, and to me the two important infrastructure is road, beside utility lah, water supply. The other one is kita pun ICT. It must be there. The speed must be there. Baru kita dapat transform. Otherwise you can't transform the rural, because they become the key, basic fundamental for you to transform rural areas. Kerana sekolah depending on speed juga ICT. Turis datang siapa, depending on that. The first thing ini minta password and broadband. So this is the key, road dengan tu. Very important, beside utility. So these are how we coordinate in order to make Sarawak as a developed state by 2030, and we must deliver by 2030. Okay? I think after this, Dr. Sabugiah will give you the 2030 developed state. Dr. Sabugiah will give you the state press, the content. Huh?